up here in the Zoloft and get your head right.
Right on, head right, homies. Welcome to the Zoloft, your head right hangout. I hope you guys have a groovy Monday all day. Hope it keeps, hey, why not? Just rock on all night. I don't care if it's Monday. Make it a party night anyway. Make it a groovy night all night and just carry it on into Tuesday. Don't even go to sleep. Just stay up and be groovy. Right now, why not? Anyway. Hey, I'm glad you guys tuned in, man, for a dose from the Zoloft. Get a dose from me, I'll get a dose from you, because, hey, I don't, I'm just your debonair dilettante, man. I'm trying to find out some things. Y'all help me, guys. Y'all help me navigate through this stuff as I bring up these topics that came across my desk. You know, that place where I do my thinking, like in the bathroom, on the toilet, on my iPhone. Anyway, so, what do we got? What are we going to try to get to today? And thank you guys for tuning in. To listen to my ramblings, tuning in on Instagrams, tuning in on the website, bronzeserpentmedia.com, tuning in on the YouTubes, and as I'm sitting here doing my rambling, trying to get to the news here. So what do we got? We're going to talk about after the blow up. This is from WLT Report. After massive blow up, Zelensky refuses to apologize to President Trump in latest interview. Then we have from the Gateway Pundit, Democrat Senator Chris Murphy, who met with Zelensky before a White House visit, confirms the Ukrainian leader had already decided to torpedo Trump's mineral deal before meeting with Trump. Cops say Gene Hackman was found dead in his mudroom. His wife was in bathrooms surrounded by pills, and their dog was in a closet. Listen to the 9/11 call. Then we have Supreme doofuses. Andrew and Tristan Tate have been released from house arrest in Romania and are returning to the States. RFK Jr. takes a sledgehammer to two major vaccine, I like the sledgehammer thing, you know what I'm saying, to two major vaccine developments. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. turning heads for his op-ed on Measles outbreak. A porno just won Best Picture. Let's talk about it. Best Actress winner promises to always be an ally to the sex worker community. Okay, that's what's on deck, y'all. Let's see what we can do with it. Let's see. Back it on up here let's jump on over to the WLT report and see what they say. See what this article says. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Can we just call him VD? I mean VZ. Can we just call him VZ?
No, I like VD.
Is Z like, pronounced D in Ukrainian? I don't know. Is it like Zelensky? No, Zelensky. Refused to apologize to President Trump during his recent interview on Fox News. Fox News host Bret Baier asked, "Ooh, how's he dressed on it?" No, he's still kind of. Well, at least I guess he wore a button-up shirt for the interview.
Guess he respects them more than the White House.
Yeah, right. I mean, who am I to talk, man? You hardly catch me in a suit and tie. So, but I reckon if I was going to be meeting with the head of state or something like that, I'd probably go ahead and get a suit and tie. Even Zoe might do that. Zelensky gonna come in there and tell, give me some money. We want some. Give us some money. Won't even put on a suit and tie. It's like, okay, well, maybe your suit and tie just wasn't available there, Volodymyr. Was your suit and tie being laundered, along with the rest of the laundry that y'all do there? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But anyway, couldn't even go in there and talk to a gang ahead. Couldn't even get dressed for the occasion.
Yeah. The thing is, though, you said you don't wear suit and ties either. You don't wear ties. But you do have a lot of cool jackets and cool button-down shirts, so you look nice. VD wore a dirty sweatshirt.
It's like, you have a dirty shirt. You're a dirty president. All right, so.
Which he is.
Yeah, he is. It's like, it's one of those things where it's like, can you really be mad at Russia for attacking Ukraine? And I mean, I know I'm begging for some hate mail. I was like,
yes.
You Democrats, you need to make up your mind. You love, Russia, and you hate Russia, and you love Russia. I mean, like I said before, I mean, Democrats, the real xenophobes, y'all, the real xenophobes, and the real haters. I mean, remember how the Democrats, they really, really hated communism, which, that certainly doesn't make them pro-American. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make them pro-American. It doesn't make them capitalist or anything like that. As I've said before, Hitler hated communism. Didn't make him a capitalist. Didn't make him friendly towards America or anything like that. And Democrats are the same way. They don't like communism because they don't like the competition. As if there's something worse than being a Democrat, and being a communist ain't exactly being worse than a Democrat. It's all rooted in the same thing, feeling like you're entitled to something at somebody else's expense, and people have to be made to pay for something, that they didn't want, that somebody else can enjoy. That's basically, that's Democrats. That's where they are. So at any rate, looking at Russia, which Democrats seem to have this love-hate relationship with, but Ukraine is, ain't exactly Boy Scouts, you know what I'm saying? It's a pretty crooked nation. And it's like, oh, Russia, you want to go ahead and you want to attack Ukraine? Do we really care? Well, I mean, why? Why? Don't get me wrong, man. Not from a standpoint of people. People gonna lose their lives. That really sucks. Not like people aren't being compromised already in Ukraine, but for Russia to go in and they're like, oh, yeah, we're gonna claim this. It ain't like you guys are doing honorable stuff with the resources that you have. You're not necessarily an honorable nation, so yeah, we're gonna come and take some of the stuff. Do we try to stop Russia from doing that? Because here's the thing, y'all. It ain't like either side is really the good guy in it. It's like is somehow a lot of people have been duped into thinking, I guess, just because Ukraine is a smaller nation or something like that they're the good guys. Let me put it like this. Let me put it in perspective for y'all. I think it's really strange. I mean, really freaking strange that big bad Russia is seen as the nation that the Democrats had like a love fest with, right? They love Russia. I guess because Reagan didn't like him. I guess
our entire life, they loved Russia.
Yeah, but now all of a sudden they don't. But that's because they're the real xenophobes, bipolar xenophobes. Can't make up their mind about stuff. But let me get down to this, just to show you how weird Democrats are. When it comes to Ukraine and Russia, by default, Ukraine are the good guys. Why? Because they're the smaller nation, right? Russia's just a bully coming in to take over Russia. Now all of a sudden they don't like Russia, right? And it's weird that you have Democrats who are all about open borders and stuff like that. Open borders. We want open borders. But Ukraine, they're all about Ukraine, which means border country. It's a nation defined by its borders, but you have big bad Russia. Russia's the bad guy because they're the bully. Ukraine is the good guy because they're the little guy, or even like with China and Tibet, China's the bad guy, but little Tibet, they're the good guys because, well, it's little Tibet, How come they don't apply that same thing when it comes to Israel? Little bitty Israel is the bad guy surrounded by the good guys who are trying to come in and take their nation and wipe them off the face of the earth. So all the Emirates surrounding Israel, that territory, this big population of people in this big territory, they're the good guys. And little Israel's the bad guy. Weird, right? So Zelensky, I guess because he's the little guy, deserves big money. So anyway, the article goes on to say, no, I respect the president and I respect the American people. And if I don't know, I think that we have to be very open and very honest. And I'm not sure that we did something bad. Well, here's the thing, Zelensky. If you can't tell when you did something bad, that just goes to show that you really don't deserve the money. You don't have a sense of self-reflection. You don't seem to have a compass, a filter, to be able to determine when you stepped out of line, cuz, when this whole thing is out of line. So things like that, man, that may require some reflection, and you just may need to, trust. When somebody else has something that you need, hey man, you just might want to, shut up. It's just you keep your mouth shut, and that would show a lot. Evidently, you couldn't do that. You've been spoiled. Yeah, is really what it counts. All you've done is shown is that you've been spoiled, and you've shown that you have these rhinos and Democrats in there who've been propping you up because they're protecting their investments, weapon investments, laundry. They're protecting that. So yeah, they're giving you money to make more money. Is really what it comes down to. So, well, like I said, man, you seem to lack a sense of self-reflection here, and you can't do that. So, no, you're not entitled to more of America's money. I think maybe sometimes, the article goes on to say, I think maybe sometimes some things we have to discuss out of media. Okay, wait a minute. Did I understand that correctly? I think maybe sometimes some things we have to discuss out of media. You just contradicted yourself. You just said, no, I respect the president, I respect the American people, and if I don't know, I think that we have to be very open and honest. Okay, well, then the media presence shouldn't be an issue, bruh. With all due respect to democracy, okay, well, once again, you say that we shouldn't be discussing these things in front of the media. Then don't act like you're interested in a democratic process. Okay, and to free, a democracy and to free media. Maybe I'm misunderstanding what he's saying because he really seems to be contradicting himself, or maybe he just didn't have a grip on the English language at this point. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. What do you guys think? It just sounds to me like he contradicted himself. So, you guys saw the interview, and then following that, Zelensky's gonna be like nanny boo boo, stick your head in doo doo. I done went to my British friends. Yeah, I went to the UK. Yeah. And we had tea and crumpets, and they're gonna give you $2 billion. Was it $2 billion?
It was $2 billion, and it was a promise of, I think it was air support. Mm-hmm. But then I just heard the whole statement, because I had just read bits and pieces, the whole statement from, what is his name? Starmer. Keir Starmer, I think, is the new. I can't keep track of all the new.
I know, right?
Prime ministers or whatever they're called of the UK. But he said, we're going to do all this for you, a whole $2 billion in air support. But we need America to help out too.
Yeah. So $2 billion. Now, for our homies in here, our head right homies in here, who've got much better military savvy than I do, and like when it comes to spending and how much our military apparatuses cost, $2 billion. Yeah, well, what would that be towards like one ship? I mean, them ships they cost. It's like if you were going to deploy, like say for instance, you need some naval support. You want $2 billion, just to even build a ship. What does $2 billion put towards a Navy vessel? Like maybe even a battleship, a destroyer, an aircraft carrier.
Tom Jensen. You should know this.
Right?
You are the battleship guy.
Yeah. So what does it put towards that? I mean, just to get some perspective on when Ulysses is going to go over there and say, ha, America, we got $2 billion. Okay. So when we talk about defense spending, it's one thing. It's like when you think about what's being deployed out there, it's like one of the things that's even going to be deployed, like if we're talking about air support, if you want American air support and stuff like that. And I mean, because it's important to bring up the Navy because pretty much the Navy is like the first line of defense. That's part of how, the rest of our military forces get from, overseas to there and, to be deployed. That's kind of part of how it's done, So if you're gonna want one of them, if you want that kind of money, man, just to even deploy one of these vessels, or if you talk about air support, hey, even them jets themselves, to make them jets, that's not cheap. You know, that's not cheap to do that. So when you're talking about the cost of even like, you know, the vessels that we use, man, $2 billion, that don't even go very far. But I have a theory, y'all. I have a theory on why, you know, they gave him a figure like $2 billion. I think it was pretty much to kind of soften the blow, to tell him, okay, now that you got $2 billion, we basically they paid Zelensky to like just listen for a second, man, because we know you want money, and we'll give you this money if you just listen for a second, just listen to us, okay? Just be quiet for about 5 minutes. We're buying 5 minutes of your silence, Zelensky, for $2 billion. You ain't doing this without the U.S., man. You're gonna need their support. So please consider, just think about it. Just $2 billion for you to just think about it. You're gonna need American support. All right. So go back in there and make that mineral deal. Okay. So grow some minerals, bro. As they would say to you, grow some minerals. Get the minerals.
I think you guys can let us know in the chat, but I did just hear from Roger Stone, Trump's guy, that they already, sorry, my voice is going at it. Okay, I know I should hit the mute button.
It's kind of way over here.
Yeah. Anyhow, I just heard that Zelensky had made a deal, a minerals deal, signed a contract with the UK.
So, wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
I trust what Roger Stone says, but I haven't been able to verify it yet. But yeah.
Well, so much for my theory. I thought it was an interesting theory.
Tom Jensen says, I heard Battleship. Yeah. How much do they cost to make nowadays, Tom?
Yeah. What's the going rate for a battleship nowadays?
What's the going rate?
Right. And while you do those figures, I guess going in, there might have been, you know, some, I don't know, contentious or some testy vibes going in. Because maybe Trump might have caught wind that Zelensky, and this kind of, you know, ties into, Democrat Senator Chris Murphy, who met with Zelensky before the White House visit, confirms the Ukrainian leader had already decided to torpedo Trump's minerals deal before meeting with Trump. So before Zelensky went in to have the meeting with Trump, he was already going in there, you know, like, man, I ain't gonna make no, I'm gonna blow a hole in this, man. You watch, I'm BZ, right? This is my house. I'm coming up in there with my dirty shirt. I ain't gonna wear a suit and tie, and I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna go poo poo all over this mineral deal. Watch. Okay, so he went in there and did that, and then help me out, y'all. If I'm getting this wrong? After Zelensky had this meeting with these underminers,
Yeah.
they went and tweeted out, like, in boasting, what Zelensky's plans were.
Yeah, Democratic Senator Chris Murphy, that's how we knew he had this meeting with all of these Democratic senators and the rhinos, like Lindsey Graham and Chuck Grassley and another one. Yeah, they tweeted out that
So they didn't
met
even
with
wait.
Zelensky.
They didn't even wait until Zelensky was going to go have the meeting. Right after their meeting, they tweeted this out. I wonder if Trump and Vance caught wind of that.
Yeah.
Caught wind of that tweet. Or did somebody put it in there and say, hey, man, hey, Trump, did you see this? Okay, so all the disrespect was already happening.
Yes.
So when they went into that meeting, it's like, okay, Mr. Zelensky, what you got to say on this? As if we don't already know. Maybe that's how it went down. Maybe because, it seemed like they was all ready to get testy.
Oh, yes.
It was already, and Trump's like, man, you disrespectful. You got no great. Hey, what did I say that MAGA should really stand for? MAGA should really stand for Make America Grateful Again. Okay, get the pride thing out of it. I don't know why people are so hung up on pride, man. People act like pride is such a good thing when nobody likes a prideful person. Nobody really even likes it.
That's true.
But we think that being proud is a good thing. No, it's not. Pride is not a good thing. Be thankful, be joyful, be enthusiastic, be fervent, be these things. Yes. Pride, unless your pride is prefaced by the Lord, be proud of what the Lord does through us. Be proud of the works that the Lord does and the works that, if you preface pride with that, then it's fine. If you don't, pride is poison and it is corrosive to our nation. Okay? Zelensky gonna come in there acting all prideful and stuff, and it didn't turn out good. And so even Trump is making the sell for us right now. It's like, dude, you're not even grateful, man. Exactly. Make America grateful again. I'm gonna have them shirts made, man. I hope you guys will.
We're gonna make the shirts.
Yeah, I hope y'all decide that you want to get them. that's something that the culture needs, man. We got just too much pride, dude.
Yeah.
We got too much pride on both sides. It doesn't matter, and it's all gay. Okay, I should have that shirt made too. All pride is gay. But people might think that's I'm trying to promote, homosexuality or something like that. Because as if being gay is something to be proud of.
Yeah.
That's right. Pride is gay. Thank you, brother. Is it? No, that's not you. You misunderstood.
Yeah. Hopefully, it would start a conversation that they'd ask you about the shirt.
Right? Yeah.
Start a convo.
I'd be happy to be said no. I think you've got that wrong. But then again, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, MAGA, Make America Grateful Again, and that's basically what he was telling us. Listen, look, man, you need to be grateful, cause because you kind of out of line. So, but yeah, I think what do you guys think? Is that possible that they might have caught a hold of this tweet, this tweet, and already knew that Zelensky was going to come in there come in there huffing and puffing and stuff like that?
Yeah, I just wonder.
And got his own house blown down.
This article says, so with this meeting with the anti-Trump cabal, Zelensky walked into the White House not as a diplomat, but as an antagonist. And so this Democrat, he tweeted out, just finished a meeting with President, and mind you, this is before he met with Trump, an hour before he met with Trump. Just finished a meeting with President Zelensky here in Washington. He confirmed that the Ukrainian people will not support a fake peace agreement where Putin gets everything he wants, and there are no security arrangements for Ukraine. And that's what the Democrat senator wrote, 11:15 a.m. on Friday.
Okay. Well, Zelensky, man, stop listening to ear ticklers. Stop listening to people who tell you what you want to hear, and thinking that you can just go ahead and just ride a gravy train, for however long you want. If you really care about your people, man, you'd stand down with this. I'm not trying to tell somebody to give up, and fight and just let somebody come in and have their way with you. I wouldn't just say that about a person. But it's not like Ukraine. Like I said, it's not like Ukraine are the good guys.
Yeah.
Zelensky's, coming over. I don't know about making threats and stuff like that, but remember back as 2023? He's basically telling America that Americans are going to have to come in and fight.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's like, excuse us?
And he just said the same thing last week.
Right? I mean, hold on, man. you don't tell us, if you're gonna run a conscription in your country, that's one thing, man. Don't come over here and telling us that we gotta follow along with that. Telling us, and based on what? And I think he tried to say something to the effect of, according to NATO sanctions, we're gonna have to. And okay, look, he's the president of Ukraine. I figure he knows better than I would. As far as I know, they're not in NATO, are they?
No.
Okay,
they're not.
I'm asking. I'm asking.
The way he talks, you would think they are.
Right. And I guess that's all you got to do, man. That's all you got to do is that, like, if you go, well, I guess, well, he said he's the president. He couldn't just say that, and people just go along with it. Yeah, so you got all these flag wavers. I tell you what, man, for those people who've been waving, the Ukrainian flag and all that sort of stuff, well, there's your first wave.
Yeah.
It's like Ukrainian flag wavers here in America. You guys go. You can go ahead and be part of that first wave.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Knock yourselves out.
Yep.
And but yeah, I'm wondering if that's the case. He went in there with this attitude that kind of maybe got leaked out, and Trump and Vance were privy to it or savvy to it. And it's like, yeah, you ain't gonna have your way up in here, cuz you've been, and maybe Zelensky thought, under the Biden administration, he probably had reason to think. He probably had, fair enough reason to think that he would get military personnel support of the magnitude that he was expecting under the Biden administration, because those who have that kind of interest in Ukraine, these investments and the laundering, yeah, they'll waste our military's time, blood and treasure, to send over to Ukraine. Sure.
Oh yeah.
So, it's just one of those things, man, where you keep trying to hammer out the facts, and it's unfortunate, y'all, that it's so hard. And I know I've said it 1,000 times, but we've been dealing with it 1,000 times. We still have to keep dealing with this stuff. It's so obvious. It's so obvious that it's wrong. But y'all, as long as Republicans keep helping Democrats portray Republicans the way the Democrats want the culture to see them, the Democrats and the people that they support on a global scale can get away with this stuff. Because people are always going to think that, well, it doesn't matter. It's Republicans who are really evil. And Republicans help them. It doesn't matter how much dirt you can pull up, actual dirt you can pull up on Democrats. It doesn't matter. If Democrats have already effectively made Republicans out to be the bad guy, then public opinion, and it doesn't take the majority of the public, y'all, you know that. It doesn't take the majority. There's the silent majority and there's the noisy minority. And that squeaky wheel gonna get that grease. Okay? And unless Republicans understand en masse, well, once again, it doesn't take the majority. If enough of the Republican voter could get away from this mainstream Republicanism, it's not even Republicans, I don't even know what it is. Okay, could get away from that and understand that you have to answer to this spiritually and then culturally, and do the groundwork to impede what the Democrats have been doing. Then political victories don't mean nothing, and this stuff will just go on, y'all. It keeps going on. People think that, oh, we're getting a break. No, and then something else happens. The Democrats are able to get away with. You have the information, you got the facts, but you have to be able to connect it with the culture. You're just going to have an obstinate culture, man, that just sees us as the bad guys. Most of the Republican Party helps them do that. They sabotage themselves. So this shouldn't be so hard, folks. It shouldn't be this hard. Where you're just it's right there, man. Right there. It's like, dude, do you not see this?
Yeah.
No, what I see is you and you're evil. That's what they see. They don't see this. They see the messenger, the truth teller, as the evil one. All right, so now, hey, don't feel bad. Jesus went through the same thing. I'm telling you the truth. Okay? But who did they see as evil? Right. They saw him as the heretic. They saw him as evil. Yeah. But, and that's the nature of things, y'all. That's the nature of things. Does that mean that we're doomed to have to always have that result? That's one of the reasons why I wonder, what could Jesus have possibly meant when he says, y'all gonna do greater things than me? What could he have meant by that? If there's this, man, I believe the word of God from cover to cover. I don't say I'm sorry for none of it. There isn't any part of it that I leave out and be like, oh, I'll follow this, but I don't follow that, like other religions do, right? Other religions, even those who claim to be Christian or some sort of sect of Christianity, even they don't think that the whole Bible is worth believing or following or anything like that. They treat it like a flipping multiple choice or, smorgasbord or whichever, And, but I believe it from cover to cover, every word of it. One of the things that I have the most difficulty believing or understanding is when the Lord says you'll do greater things. I don't I don't know how I can possibly outdo Jesus in anything, right? In anything. But the only thing I could think of that he might be talking about is the ability to promote the gospel, the media. He's already maybe what it is that he's foreseeing that the ability to convey media is going to advance. All right, you're going to be able to reach people on a broad scale so much faster and so much more effectively, and you're going to have means to be able to deliver it so creatively, right? Maybe that's what he's talking about. You're going to have greater the resources you're going to be able to have at your disposal is going to be so great to tell people the truth, right? What do you guys think? That's the only thing I can think of, that he could be talking about. And even with that, I mean, come on, man, the Lord can roll back the sky like a scroll and say, hey, what's up? I got some news for you. We ain't going to outdo that. We're not going to outdo that, man. But I guess, maybe in the meantime, so look, in the meantime, y'all going to have these resources to get my word out there. You're going to do it greater than me. Maybe that's what he meant. That's the only thing I could think of that. So all that to say, y'all, if we don't use that, y'all, we just going to be doomed to what Democrats do, because y'all, they take the messaging out there. They get out there with that messaging, y'all. They play on people's imaginations. That's where they want to keep them, in imagination land, sensationalism, and fear. We need to get in the way of that. Connect with these people's imaginations about these things. Like once I've 1,000 times, man, I've given illustrations of how Democrats live in imagination land. Just like they imagine that Ukraine is the good guys. That's imagination land, man, that they think Ukraine is this virtuous nation that needs to be defended from the Russians. Okay? It's like, dude, you guys do understand it. It's possible that you can have both parties at war being bad guys. It happens. But Democrats, they're very dyslexic as far as what is good and what is evil. Their filter on that is, they ain't got it.
Yeah, so Jay Thompson says $2 billion on a battleship would cover either the paint job or chow for a week, not both. And then Tom Johnson said $8 billion for new. Iowa's would be about $2 billion in a year to modernize. And to contrast, Ford aircraft carrier costs $13 billion.
Come on, y'all. Now, like I said, ignoramus when it comes to that kind of budgeting. But even I kind of figured $2 billion just at least for one vessel of the Navy, dude. It's like, that's global. That's global news. I went to UK and I got $2 billion. Dude, like I said, I think they just gave them $2 billion. Well, like I said, that was my theory, but now that they're making a mineral deal with
They already have a contract signed with this mineral deal. That's what Roger Stone said. And when Keir Starmer was talking, he put that little contingency at the end, if America helps out again.
Now, what that also tells me, now it doesn't mean that my theory is totally obsolete. Just but all that to say is that Zelensky, what the UK did If Zelensky if he's taking that deal, you know what that means? Hey, Zelensky, and to the rest of the world who's all in support of Ukraine, Trump was right. He was right. I'm gonna make you a mineral deal.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, man, let's talk minerals. Let's do that. We could have made you a better deal. You went with the lesser deal. But evidently, minerals was on the table and something that we can negotiate with, right? So, but here's the thing. As you said at the end of this, but you're going to have to involve the U.S. in this.
Yep.
Which means that, well, I guess the mineral deal is back on the table now, isn't it? So it's like, come on, man. Hey, Zelensky, you wasting time. You talk all this urgency, man. It's like this is so urgent. You need this money urgently and all that sort of stuff. For what? What? Because you care about your people so much? Look, man, you're acting on your urgency in the wrong way. And what's that saying? Haste makes waste.
Yes.
You wasting time, dude. You wasting time. You went to another country just to make the deal that you could have made here and been done with it already. And we can get to work. You know, but whatever. I couldn't be a politician.
No.
Yeah, wasting y'all's money like that.
The 1700s basically says maybe he wants to make mineral deals with everyone except the U.S.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like
kind of seems like it.
I don't want. Yeah, I don't want your mineral deal. I want yours. He's like Debo on Friday. I want to spend Red's money. It's like come over there and I want their mineral deal. I don't like yours. So let's see. Let's see what's going on here with Gene Hackman. I think the first time I've ever seen Gene Hackman, I guess maybe ever noticed Gene Hackman. I'm pretty sure he's been in the game for a while. But the first role I remember Gene Hackman in was as Lex Luthor in a Superman movie.
Wow.
I don't remember if was that Superman one with Christopher Reeves.
Oh gosh. I want to say yes, but
yeah, it's like yeah. I think that's the first movie. I don't know if that was Superman 1 or Superman 2. You guys remember? And I know in a lot of people's hearts, Christopher Reeves is the original Superman movie, Superman. Y'all, and I think it's uncanny that Christopher Reeves would be preceded by George Reeves in the TV show Superman. No relation, I don't think.
how odd.
I don't think that was a legend. And speaking of which, just on a side note, I know we're talking about Gene Hackman here. On a side note, legend has it, George Reeves, while attending, he was making a special appearance as Superman. And it was for, I don't know, children's benefit. There were children there, but I'm not sure what the occasion was. And let me know if this is just rumor or if this actually happened. From what I remember, George Reeves was confronted by a little boy who brought a pistol, brought a firearm, and pointed it at George Reeves and said something to the effect of, "I want to show people that you can that bullets can't hurt you."
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He's like, bullets can't hurt Superman, and was going to fire on Superman. Right? Or George Reeves. Okay? And George Reeves said, "Hey, don't fire on me because the bullet can ricochet." It's like, yeah, I can stop bullets. I can. But the problem is that if you shoot me, that bullet's going to ricochet off me and it's going to hit somebody else.
Oh my goodness.
So please don't shoot me.
That is fast thinking.
That's fast thinking. Hey, more faster than a speeding bullet, right?
Yeah.
Even when it's thinking. So what do you guys think? Is You know, is that something that really happened? Was that a George Reeves experience? I remember the story, but I never really looked up to see if I didn't snope it. I didn't fact check it, if you will, to see if it was the real thing. But I remember that.
You can't trust those anyway.
I know, right? I mean, that's you know, hey, I was one of those people who believed that Mr. Rogers was a Vietnam sniper and had a bunch of tats on his arm, like with tats confirming his kills and stuff like that.
That's so much
I
cooler.
believed that for a minute too. But if the kid would actually, that's good. That's good. Quick thing. It's a good thing that the kid wasn't as a quick a thinker as George Reeves was. It's like, okay, your bullets will ricochet, but I should be able to shoot you in the mouth and you can catch the bullet with your teeth and keep it from ricocheting off people. So I'm glad that kid was like, yeah, just give me that. Just give me that butter, young man. Before you have a before you think that you can shoot me in the grill and I can catch it with my mouth. Anyway, so
awful. Tom Jensen says Superman 1 and 2.
So Gene Hackman was in both of them?
I'm assuming.
Oh, you slacking, Superman. You didn't deal with him in part 1?
Right. Also, the 1700s says Hackman was in Twilight Zone 100 yards over the rim.
Oh, okay. Which episode was that one? Oh man, I can't place that episode, and I can't place him in it.
I can't either.
100 yards over the rim.
I have to look it up.
Can you give me some can you give us some highlights from that one? Like, what are some of the markers that I might remember? I'm gonna have to we're gonna have to bust out our marathon Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
I'm getting my Sterling vibes going on. And speaking of which, y'all, I'm hoping, keep us in your prayers that we'll be able to get Sinisterbia going on, because Sinisterbia was basically my parody, not parody of the Twilight Zone, but it was Twilight Zone-ish, Sinisterbia, sinister basically meaning, funny thing is when you say sinister, people think evil, which it is, which does refer to evil, but sinister also refers to what is situated to the left. Mm-hmm. So sinister meaning the left wing, or what's situated to the left, and urban, meaning a place where you live or dwell. So Sinisterbia is this place that the left is trying to drag us into. They're trying to make us live in their crazy world, right? Yeah. So Sinisterbia was my anthology, series. It's a comedy series, but, kind of dramedy, if you will, of, that kind of ironic and, surreal approach to how things are going on, in the culture, as Rod Serling did make a lot of, cultural narratives with his series. And so I want to be able to do that, and God willing, we'll get the funding to be able to resume with those things, man, and get them out there. Because that's what we need, y'all. We need these imaginative media to connect with the culture.
Yes,
definitely.
That's
to get them out of the lie. Imagination was used to get them into the lie. We need to use imagination to get them out of it. Reasoning with them, that's not a language that they speak, y'all. If it was, then they wouldn't be listening to this garbage that the left throws out there.
Yeah.
They listen to the imaginations. That's how they connect with them. Got to do the same so we can connect with them and get them out, right? So,
yes.
But Gene Hackman, this is some of the details that I've heard was a word that sticks out is mummification. Mm-hmm. That his wife was found mummified. Now, if you guys have kept up with the developments as far as this goes.
Mummified and bloated.
Mummified and bloated. What that would tell me is that that sounds like murder. Like, or like, some like not just a murder, y'all, a kinky one. That this person is going to be murdered, and while they're in the house, they're going to mummify this woman. And if I understand, the way I've always understood mummification, it is for the purpose. It's like an embalming method. It's for some kind of preservation purpose of this cadaver. So, why would they want to? Who would take the opportunity to do that? Now, that's my limited understanding of mummification. In what other sense would this person be mummified? Mummification, as far as I know, is intended. You go through a procedure regarding the deceased. And if my understanding of mummification is correct, shouldn't there be some kind of, well, maybe if the person was wearing gloves or something like that.
Tom Jensen says her arms were mummified. Natural mummification is a thing.
Natural mummification.
Yeah, I suppose the natural, when I took my death and dying class, the natural mummification was when your clothes basically fuse into you.
Okay.
That's what I was taught. I don't know if that's true or not, but.
All right. So like I said, my understanding of mummification has probably just been, limited to thinking that it takes an intervention.
Yeah.
Somebody mummifies the deceased.
Yeah.
In terms of like a natural mummification process, that's not something that I've heard of. That it's something that just happens. Now, Hackman, man, I didn't know he was 95. Wow, where did the time go?
I know.
95 years old, dang. So the article says Gene Hackman's wife was found mummified and bloated. That's interesting. I guess the mummification wasn't very good. It's bloating up. But when the two were discovered dead with their dog in their multi-million-dollar New Mexico home, and the maintenance workers who initially discovered the quieted house said they had not seen the couple in about 2 weeks, police wrote in an affidavit. Okay, some of these notes are going to say Gene Hackman was found in the $3 million homes mudroom, which is adjacent to the kitchen, next to a pair of. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Next to a pair of sunglasses and a cane. Cops say it looks like he suffered a sudden fall. His wife was found in a bathroom near the entrance to the home with an open orange prescription bottle and pills scattered on a countertop near her. A space heater had fallen on the floor next to her head. One of the couple's dogs was shut 10 to 15 feet away inside the closet just off the bathroom. The door to the home was found unlocked and ajar, but it did not look like anyone had forced their way inside. Firefighters confirmed there was no gas leak. 2 other dogs, one inside the home and one outside, were found alive. Okay. So now, didn't we just read something where they went to the house but they couldn't get in?
Yes. That is revealed in the 911 phone call.
Okay.
He said it's locked, I can't get in.
All right, but in here, we just read that the door to their home was found unlocked and ajar. Mm-hmm. But it did not look like anyone had to force their way inside. So there's an inconsistency there.
Yeah.
Let's see. What does this say? On Thursday morning, the local sheriff's office said foul play is not suspected as a factor in those deaths at this time. No cops say the deaths are suspicious. Now cops say the deaths are suspicious enough in nature to require a thorough search and investigation. Okay, so the dogs were found dead, which I guess means that, yeah, they had passed away.
I didn't know they were found dead. Does it say
No,
that?
I'm sorry, one of the dogs.
Oh, okay.
So I guess I'm reading 3 dogs here. Am I understanding that correctly, folks? There's 2 dogs. One was found in a room and another outside, but it sounded like there was a 3rd dog that was locked in a bathroom. His wife was found in a bathroom. Where did I see that? One of the couple's dogs was shut 10 to 15 feet away inside the closet just off the bathroom. Where did I read that where it's their dog? Yeah, okay. Surrounding people and their dog was in a closet. This is a 911 call.
The New York Post writer the way they wrote it makes it sound like the dog that was locked in the closet was dead. It's the way they wrote it, because I read it like that too, but the dog wasn't dead.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for clearing that up. Now, I'm seeing two other dogs, one inside the home and one outside, were found alive. So it sounds like there was one of the couple's dogs was shut 10 to 15 feet away inside the closet just off the bathroom. So that's one dog.
Yeah.
And then there's two other dogs. But it doesn't seem to say if that. Okay, well, right there, right at the top. Yesterday, we reported that 95-year-old actor Gene Hackman and his 65-year-old wife Betsy were found dead in their New Mexico home alongside their dog. Was that the part you were talking about?
Fasco 69 said one dog did die, the locked up dog.
Okay, which would suggest that they were dead for a while, because I reckon the dog starved to death.
Yeah, poor thing. Oh, I just feel awful. This is such a horrible story.
All right, so they were dead for a minute, and then okay. So I don't know. There's can't speculate on how they died. It definitely does sound like foul play, but don't know why. Don't know what the motive was. Don't know how it was done. She got pills next to her and stuff like that. Could it have been from a heart attack, from Gene Hackman, or a stroke, or?
Yeah, I think he had a pacemaker, one of the articles said.
Oh, okay. So that, and then, with his wife, seemingly at the same time, Sad stuff, man.
Steve Wirt says that Hackman was in Twilight, the movie, not Twilight Zone. I haven't had a chance to look that up yet, so.
But like, Twilight would definitely be like some later work, but like his earlier work, I'm pretty sure, what his resume look like from there. So, what was that 1700 said? That over the fence, yards over the fence? Sounds like a baseball theme kind of.
I know, he was not in that, but 100 yards over the rim, and as soon as I describe it, you'll remember it. The story of a man that advances 100 years in the future to save his son.
I'm still drawing a blank.
Remember, it starts out like, I think in the 1800s, where him and his wife and his son are in a
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's definitely not Gene Hackman. All right. Yeah, that oh, man. Okay. But it wouldn't all surprise me if that was if a Twilight Zone was an early role.
Yeah, he acted for decades.
Yeah, he's been in it for a minute, so I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised if he wasn't in any of the Twilight Zones.
Yep.
I mean, but it's like weird. You see actors that you remember, like actors that I remember, like the first time I may have seen them was like in the '80s or something like that, and they're new to me. But like their careers were like earlier in their careers, they'd be you go back and you watch some earlier episodes of things on TV and say, oh wait, wow, this person is young on the Twilight Zone and stuff like that.
Tom Jensen, we agree this was my theory too. He said, my theory, Gene had a heart attack, wife got upset and self-deleted. No one found them for 10 days, hence the state of the body.
Ooh.
That's what I was thinking too.
I hope not. I hope that's not the case. So they found, how many pills did they find? Maybe
hopefully more details will come out. I mean, although it is not fun to read.
I tell you what, folks, I hope it's needless to say, but as much as a person may love their spouse, don't do that. That would be a form of idolatry.
True.
Love the Lord more than anything. Love the Lord more than anything, because let me put it to like this. As much as you may love your spouse, if that spouse passes away and you feel like you got to, hey, you just want to be with them and you self-delete, as is put, you will never see that person again. You know what I'm saying? So don't do that. Wait on the Lord, and the Lord will, put y'all back together. Depending that person, believed and is with the Lord, and wait, and the Lord will catch y'all up. But if you love that person so much where you self-delete, you trusted in death to unite you, not life.
Yeah.
The Lord is life. The Lord's like, you didn't trust me. I am life. Who can keep y'all together? You trusted in death. Well, to death you go. Right? So don't even. It's like, I think, I don't even like to talk about it. But, I know that's easier said than done, but it's the Lord that's supposed to be our motivation, because he's the one who can facilitate the reunion. Amen. So you leave that to him and his timing, don't gamble with that. So let's see, what else we got here? Supreme, what's up?
I wanted to read this to you real quick because I agree with it, and I think you need to hear it from someone else. Jay Thompson says, I understand what Zoe is saying about synesthesia. He's on a post-grad level, and most people are still in middle school. And I told him how you used to go on Dr. Drew's show, and the producer would repeatedly ask you to dumb it down for the audience.
That's very kind of you. It is. It's and I've been told that a few times.
Yes, you have.
And I guess maybe if I was smart, as these people think I am, I would get it. But see, please understand, and that's all from the Lord as it is. When I'm dealing with a culture that, is so woke, they think of themselves as so collegiate as it is, and they want the entitlements to go to these to get a college education and stuff like that, and and whatnot. And when I've gone on these shows, it's like that's who we're talking to, right? We're talking to these pedigreed people of academia,
right?
How am I talking over their heads? I got a GED and I'm a college dropout. I think the only, so how am I going to tell these people some stuff that's going to go over their heads? You know what I mean? And but I get what you're saying, and because I've been told that before, and it's not, and believe me, y'all. It certainly is not thinking that I have any confidence in my intelligence being above it, and I really mean it when I say it, that my audience is smarter than I am. I'm like, I got a weird dynamic of a show, right? I got a weird dynamic of a presentation. A lot of the shows that are the mainstream, these people, they're it's an industry for them to be informed. Okay, they got a team of people making sure that they've got this information in front of them all the time. Okay, they're pretty educated as far as these issues go. Educated, not necessarily meaning right, but informed and educated on them. It's their job to be a lot more educated in these things than a lot of their audience. All right, my dynamic is different, and y'all are crazy. Because you guys are as educated, if not more so, about these things than I am, but you guys still tune in for my presentation. That says a lot, that's the Lord. But I get it, y'all. My approach to these things is different. Okay, I think we pretty much be thinking a lot of the same things. Just my approach to it, my perspective on it, is just is pretty much unique to me. right? It's a different way of looking at things. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's more intelligent. Doesn't mean it's more I'm more informed or edified than y'all. It certainly doesn't mean that, or anybody else who may be listening to it, where you might suggest that it goes over people's head. It's just definitely a perspective that's brought in from another angle. That I think, if I may say so myself, that a lot of people may find refreshing, as well as pragmatic. But more importantly, the pragmatism is biblically based. It's definitely not coming from my, capabilities. It's only from what the Lord has, led me to explore through His Word, and that's my filter and that's my foundation to be able to deliver these things. And like I said, I think people, they find those things refreshing.
Yeah. I just want to read this. So is the equivalent of a PBS Nova special. Modern America is Sesame Street.
Can I be Oscar the Grouch? I want to be Oscar the Grouch.
No, you're the PBS Nova.
Oscar the Grouch can host PBS Nova. It's all the same show. Yeah. What? What do you want? Excuse me. Okay, so Supreme Court, Supreme Court doofuses. I was going to say Supreme Court doofuses, but just Supreme doofuses.
Yes.
Andrew and Tristan Tate have been released from house arrest in Romania and are returning to the States. What? Why? Okay, so after apparent pressure from Trump administration officials, Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan are being allowed to leave Romania and return to the United States. I don't think I want to read any more of this. And I know people are so excited because Trump is in there and look at, he's having prayer and that's what we need. And I'm like, y'all, okay. But listen, hey, I know we take what we can get, and it's just trying to move the ball down the field. But this doesn't mean that Trump actually follows the Lord and has given his life to Christ. Okay,
that's true.
I'm saying is okay. Let me put it to you like this: Trump is applauded by MAGA, and Trump boasts in, he's the guy who says, hey, these people from south of the border, they're murderers and rapists. They're dirty and they're bad people. You know what? And they shouldn't be coming to our country. But so why are you going to make this exception for the Tates, man? They shouldn't be. If you have an issue with people being rapists coming to our country, then you shouldn't be inviting the Tates to step foot in America. Mm-hmm. Okay, now, so the Tates, unfortunately, are becoming like these darlings to this so-called weak, poor excuse of, Republican voters, mainstream, Republican voters, and so-called conservatives, whichever, this pathetic brand of conservatism or whatever they've mutated or perverted into being, that would make exceptions for somebody like Andrew Tate. And it's unfortunate that it says a lot about, and I got to include myself, y'all. Hey, if I was as effective and I was, when I talk about being this cultural warrior and being all savvy and stuff like that, you would think I could do better. But hey, this thing is a monster to get around.
Yeah.
It's difficult. It's a big thing to fight, kind of by yourself. And thankfully, I have y'all who tune in to kind of help me, try to stay on the scene. And believe me, y'all, it is certainly nothing that I take lightly or don't want to sound at all belittling of the support that I have. I value it very much. I'm very thankful. but it's a big monster out there to take on. And, you know, it's hard to surface, you know, with it out there. And it's unfortunate that people like Andrew Tate pretty much get all the advertisement or all the access that they, you know, they're not impeded. I mean, heck, man, even being like in this arrest in Romania wasn't enough to, you know, stop them from being able to connect with the people that they want to connect with.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm free as a bird, but I'm definitely not free to promote my work.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, they're able to get out there and promote their brand of, I guess, right-wing, what's accepted as right-wing ideology. That a lot of, you know, people on the right end of the spectrum, whatever the crap that means today,
Yeah.
you know, are adopting as a model, you know, to follow. You know, Andrew Tate is a demon-led, narcissistic, chauvinist, you know, an objectifier of women. And this somehow is taken as manhood. If you know, if we're talking about toxic masculinity, which is a real thing, toxic masculinity is any man who doesn't follow God. Okay? Toxic masculinity is so it doesn't matter if you are the most machismo meathead or limp-wristed fruithead. Doesn't matter. Both are apart from God, you know. And don't get me wrong, you could be a meat-headed Christian too, and that wouldn't be toxic masculinity. It's like, look, man, yeah, I like to work out, lift weights, and all that sort of stuff, and get ripped and whichever, but I follow Christ. That would not be toxic masculinity. You follow Christ, that is not toxic masculinity.
Right.
Those who are apart from Christ, you're gonna get a toxic male, and just as well, you'll get a toxic female. If you are a woman who does not follow Christ, you will be that will be toxic femininity. All right, so yes, those things are definitely real, and Andrew Tate would be a poster child of this kind of stuff. And Andrew is, I guess, considers himself a Muslim now or whichever because he thinks that Christianity is too soft.
Yeah.
And I don't, in a way, I don't blame him for thinking that, but you still you don't have any business saying that. You have the right to be, you know, to be wrong, but it's, you know, in the meantime, but you're gonna have to answer to that at some point. And trust me, dude, it ain't gonna go well for you to face off with Christ and try to tell him that he's soft. All right, you know, is you know, when the word says that every knee shall bow and every tongue will confess, you can try to stay on your feet as much as you want. You will not be able to bear the weight of the power of Christ. Your knees will bust to the ground. Yeah. Right? And you can go ahead and your lip will bleed. Your tongue and your lip will bleed, trying to keep your mouth shut, to keep from uttering the words that the Lord is the Lord. You will confess. All right. Now, why would God do that? Why would the Lord do that? Right? Why is it that that every knee is gonna bow? Like, because somebody, hey, you know, he is the only one we're kneeling for, and we will profess is yes, he is exactly who he says he is. That's what the strong are gonna do. The strong know who the king is, and the strong can put their pride aside and take that knee and announce it. Right? The weak, driven by their pride, are going to try to stand on their feet, and they're going to be shown just how weak they are. But why would God do that, though? Why would God make it to where, because everybody's going to do it. Everybody's going to kneel. Not everybody going to like it. Right? Yeah. Everybody's going to be made to do it. Everybody's going to have to profess. You're going to admit it. You know, like I said, don't mean that you're going to like it, but the testimony going to be there. But God has to do it, though. He has to. Because he's got to give you the proof. That's why. He has to prove it. He said, look, man, I'm God. You know why you're kneeling right now? Because I made you do it. You know why I was able to make you do it? Because I'm God. Evidently, you needed the proof. I'm doing this for your sake. I will make you kneel and I will make you profess who I am. Why? Because you need proof. And then when you get the proof, it will be witnessed by everybody around you that the proof was given to you and you still denied it. People like Andrew Tate. You're going to try to play hard and all that sort of stuff. You're going to try to think, you want to think to yourself that I'm soft. What you doing on your knees there, boy? Mm-hmm. Right? So he's going to have to contend with that. Now, in the meantime, I get it, man. It's like, with Christianity being promoted as Jesus being this effeminate, soft, tulip tipping male, beta male that just goes around and lets people abuse him and stuff like that. And we need to be like Jesus, and we just need to let people, do whatever they want to, and all that sort of stuff, and just love them and forgive them and whatever. I can understand. Turn the other cheek. I can see why he thinks that Christianity is promoted as something soft and and excuse me. That is not necessarily what Yeshua had in mind. And even if so, with Yeshua, what he endured, Andrew couldn't do that. Andrew, that takes a man's man to do what Yeshua did.
Yes.
All right. And nobody gets away with what they did to him. When Yeshua comes back, man, he's going to speak the word that's going to make the nations just like crumble. It ain't going to be pretty for those who opposed him. But in the meantime, it's like, please understand, Yeshua had to go through what he went through in order to save our life. He didn't do it just because he's some sissy, and he wasn't trying to make a point of saying, that's what you guys should do. You should just let yourselves be abused. No, that was his draft. He was commissioned to do that. All right. And his disciples had their commission. Is in military, you're going to have somebody who's going to have to make a run that, man, they may not come back from, or may make a run that's probably going to scar them pretty bad. They understand this. Jesus and his disciples, they took what they took because it had to be shown. It had to be shown that there's evil in this world that has to be contended with. He had to show what it's like. Look, man, we're innocent. We didn't do anything. We did nothing to you. We did nothing to deserve this. There's evil in this world that is so evil that people will abuse those who are innocent for no good reason. It had to be shown. The case had to be made. It is evident, it is recorded that this had been done. And this is evil that has to be eradicated. And to get the full justification to do it and get the full war powers to do it, to eradicate this evil. Well, that's something that Yeshua had to go through. And with his disciples, who subsequently were inflicted with their executions. So the case had been made, right? And as it is now, Yeshua has fully ratified, justifiable war powers. Mm-hmm. It's just a point of when the trigger is going to be pulled for him to do it. And like I said, that probably won't be for at this point, it won't be for at least another 1,000 years before the day of the Lord comes, when he's given the go ahead. It's going to be after that, right? But, because we still got the millennial reign we got to go through, rapture, tribulations, and things like that. When these judgments are going to be poured out, and then, finally, after, Satan being released and the Lord, does that, he really unloads and melts everything down. The word says that he's going to melt everything down to the elemental level. The universe is going to be flash pasteurized. This is the day of the Lord, right? All of creation, the cosmos, judged in an instant, flashed, made pure, right? So that's going to be a while from now. We don't know what day. We only have an idea of what's going to happen preceding that, but in terms of what day, and hour that's going to happen, that we don't know. When that judgment comes.
Yeah.
So anyway, you know, back to Andrew Tate, because the Lord's way more interesting to talk about than he is. But it's unfortunate, y'all, that this is what, you know, a lot of people in their dissolution is taking as an example of manhood to follow. And it's saddening, y'all. It's saddening. Not just that they follow him, but because it hasn't been promoted. You know, Yeshua hasn't been promoted effectively to I mean, because it's a notable amount of people who are going for this crap, y'all. This pimp. It's a pimp. Right? And, you know, trying to do the work to show Yeshua. I think one of the things, if I may, that what y'all appreciate here in the Zopium Den, when we do the Zopium Den and here in the Zoloft, is that, no, we let the Bible speak to who Yeshua is.
Yep.
And when you let the Bible speak to who Yeshua is, you find a man's man. And he's the most manliest manny man to ever walk the earth, sea, and sky. You ain't gonna outman Jesus, right? And that's where we speak about him from, because that's what the Bible says about him. You know, but people have used squishy love as a selling point to get people, you know, to consider Jesus.
Yeah, the church has been highly feminized for like 80 plus years.
It ain't working out good.
No.
You know, but that's the gimmick. You know what I'm saying? It's a gimmick, y'all, to get people in them pews. The whole all accepted, and people just want to feel accepted, and they want to feel loved, and they want to feel like they're a better person because they accept and they love other people, regardless of which and all that. And Jesus like, I didn't teach y'all that. You know, that's you left out a whole lot there. You know, and things like that open the doors for people like Andrew Tate to give his brand of what masculinity is, and people want to follow that sort of stuff, and we end up with a more toxic culture.
Yeah.
Right. So I would think, because and I appreciate that y'all, you're like, yeah, man, it's like you know what's up. The Word of God speaks of Jesus, man. That's our warrior king, man. He's a warrior, right? He's a warrior. It doesn't mean that he's like, this calloused cynic or anything like that, or just because he's a warrior king. Yeah, he's a warrior. He does have compassion, but he's not unpractical about his compassion. He's got common sense. He's compassionate. He does love. He does. He is nurturing. He's all those things in the right measure. And at the same time, he's our shepherd. The shepherd protects.
Yeah.
We are supposed to be able to defend. We're supposed to be shepherds of ours. And a shepherd defends. That's manly. Right? So, but anyway, hopefully we'll get our opportunity to, build these productions and get them out there, y'all.
Absolutely. The article says real quick, the Tate brothers, who are accused of grooming, raping, and pimping out dozens of underage girls for their multi-million-dollar porn business, have been confined in Romania since 2022. They are also facing charges in the UK. I believe they were born in the United States, so they are United States citizens. I don't agree that the Trump administration was, how does it put it, lobbying Romania to let Andrew Tate and his brother leave the country. Like you said, he's deporting the sex traffickers and the abusers, but he's importing these two guys.
Man.
And I know that Conservative Inc. loves them and is all about them, but I don't know how you can be with all the proof. I waited years until I had seen evidence and proof from Andrew Tate's own mouth that they are guilty of these things, and he's quite proud of it. So,
yeah, I was happy to see. Who was that? Jeremy Boring.
Oh yeah.
I was happy to see that he was rather dismayed about this.
Yes.
So okay, because I was picking up some heathen vibes from Jeremy Boring.
Well, congratulating Clavin's homosexual son's marriage.
Yeah, things like
not great.
Yeah, things like that. It's like, look, man, you kind of seem to be on the transgender homosexual, love train there. These things are rather concerning. The commercials that he was doing, Andrew Tate would have been proud of the commercials that you were doing with these women that you're flanked by.
Right, I forgot about that.
Kind of dressed up like Jennifer Lopez at the awards and stuff. It's like, Jeremy, that's not a good look. Okay, that's not a good fit. And but to hear him come out against this, it's like, okay, now we're getting back on track. That's more like it. Let's see, what else we got here? We got RFK takes a sledgehammer. I wanna be a sledgehammer. Okay, two major vaccine developments. Let's see. I like it. That's right. We need to do a video with the RFK, in a SledgeX video, doing some sledgehammer stuff. Multiple vaccine projects have been paused by the Department of Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Kennedy paused a multi-million-dollar project to create a new COVID-19 vaccine in pill form on Tuesday. Why don't you guys just go ahead and make this a suppository form? You know you want to.
Right.
Let's see. And on Forum Tuesday, and the Food and Drug Administration canceled an advisory committee meeting on updating next season's flu vaccine. An advisory committee said Wednesday the COVID project was a $460 million contract with Vaxart to develop a new COVID vaccine in pill form, with 10,000 people scheduled to begin clinical trials on Monday. Of that, $240 million was reportedly already authorized for preliminary study. While it is crucial that the Department of Health and Human Services support pandemic preparedness, 4 years of the Biden administration's failed oversight. You're using that word failed again, man. It wasn't a failure.
Well, that's true.
All right? It was not a failure. This stuff was intended. They did what they set out to do. Biden is one of the most effective presidents in U.S. history, effectively undermining our nation. And this was part of it. It was not a failure, right? This was strategy, strategic. So, oversight have made it necessary to review agreements for vaccine production, including Vaxart's, Kennedy said, according to Fox News. I look forward to working with Vaxart and medical experts to ensure this work produces safe, effective, and fiscal-minded vaccine technology, Kennedy added. So I reckon you guys get the gist of it.
Yeah, he said he just wants to review these agreements that the Biden administration made with these vaccine producers. Is that too much to ask?
Yeah, it's like, man, y'all really have an aversion to like trust but verify, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so now the whole vaccine, and he's not opposed to vaccine. Can we just know what's in it?
Yeah.
How about just a little bit of that? Can we know what's in it, and can we say this don't need to be in it? All right, this don't need to be in it. This don't need to be in it. That's a lot of money that we could save people that try was not putting this kind of stuff in it. What is wrong with y'all? Where it's just like, hey, can we make informed decisions about things? Can we consent to things by being informed about it, and not just have to take your word for it? Aren't y'all all about the Freedom of Information Act? Don't y'all love that? Can't we have the same? Can we enjoy that right too?
Yeah.
So now what do you guys think? What do you guys think about vaccines, y'all? How we go about doing vaccines and whichever. I tend to be a bit of a nature boy myself, and vaccines. I'm not sure if vaccines are the problem, and I welcome your input on this, y'all. I think a lot of the problems with the vaccine is what else is added to it that doesn't need to be in there. Certain viruses may go out. In terms of virus, I guess the jury's out on how the virus itself even gets out there. Is it something? Is this virus a phenomenon of nature, Or are these viruses engineered? Man-engineered. So if you got something that's going out there that is something in nature, and we need to be able to do something about it, the medical industry, to do something about it, what do? When you got a virus that's going out there, what do you do to deal with the virus? Somebody gets infected by it. Are vaccines a bad way to go? Is it bad to introduce a strain or this virus in some sort of capacity to a person's system and let their body recognize what it is and go through the protocols to make them immune to it? This inoculation process. Is that wrong? Is it a point of letting what if the body can't run its course against a virus if it gets to you? Even in the Word of God, somebody gets sick, that person is going to need treatment. All right, even in the Word of God. So there are people who may have a passion to be healers. The Lord put it in us. It's going to manifest in some people to be healers and to go into the healing arts. And so that being said, there's going to be some sort of therapy for a person who's inflicted with something. Now, in terms of dealing with somebody who's picked up a virus, what elixir, what prescription is there to deal with the virus aside from a vaccine? I'm not trying to make a case for vaccine. I'm just asking what else is, because
curious.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm curious because there's a lot of controversy surrounding vaccines, in which I don't blame anybody for having their suspicions about vaccines. I don't blame anybody for having an aversion to it or apprehensions about it. But from there, what my question is, because I reckon there's going to be a lot of cases made for homeopathic, treatments and things like that, naturalist or, some sort of, formula of botanicals and things, which I don't turn my nose up to any of that sort of stuff. But you're definitely gonna, but the thing is, you're gonna have a lot of opinions about those things. Who's gonna have the right remedy for you, for what your body will accept as I don't want to say concoction, but a formula of a concert of botanicals working together as a curative, right? Who are you gonna go to? You're gonna have a lot of opinions. You try to look up what are you gonna do about this, and you're just gonna get a whole list. And by the time you find something that's gonna be viable for you, that virus may have really done a lot of damage on you.
Right? Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, but you can have this vax, right? That is pretty much covers everybody. But the downside of it is that the effects it's going to have on you in the long term. But you can have something done about this right now, or you can even take the vax beforehand and make sure that you don't even get it. That hasn't seemed to be turning out very well. But people are sold on the idea, I get this vax, I'm not going to get this. I guess that worked for a couple of diseases, but. Yes.
Yeah, polio, MMR, which was measles, mumps, and rubella, we all got those as kids, and it's pretty much eradicated. Those worked. However, RFK gives the stats. After 1986, basically childhood autoimmune conditions and things going wrong went up to 54% of the population in this generation after 1986, when you got tons of immunizations. The schedule just was huge. All of a sudden, these autoimmune inflictions and different weird things that children were having went up 54%. He's saying, I'm not anti-vax, but something is going on in some of these children where it's a permanent damage with, and all we can find is after they were vaccinated. So it does affect some people long term.
Yeah, there has to be a correlation, and I reckon it's a host of things, between the vaccines and how our food is processed. And I don't want to get into a long lecture about as far as that goes, but I'm just saying there's all these things that people are being introduced to, and the generations are just coming up with, being prone to inflammation, autoimmune diseases, and things like that, and so there has to be something that's going on with this vaccine schedule. But I still ask, well, what do you do about it? A person gets a virus, or if there's a virus that's going on out there, what do you do? I don't know. I don't know what you do about it. The best thing the thing I would say is, and doctors and the Word of God is basically going to say, well, prevention is the best method. And the Word of God lets us know, look, this is how you prevent these things from happening. You might want to follow that. And if people did follow that, we'd be a lot better off. But people don't do that. Let's say, for instance, people get some kind of cold or whichever, rather than quarantining themselves for a certain amount of days, rather than doing that, work, and they spread around. Right? Or then you have this overreaction where, we're just going to quarantine everybody, which is also very impractical. So we do that. We don't follow what the Word of God says. So part of these, diseases from being something that happens that the pharmaceutical industry is just going to have to step in, and the government's going to mobilize them to take over and pump these, vaccines, these yearly vaccines in everybody, where we're just doomed to have to deal with the side effects of what all this sort of stuff does, because people just can't be disciplined enough to, I'm sick, I'm not going to spread this around, I'm going to stay home. Yeah. All right. But no, they go out, they infect other people, they spread this stuff around, and here comes the pharmaceutical. Well, you're going to need this. And then you got a culture dealing with a whole bunch of side effects. Now, and don't get me wrong, y'all, I'm not that so unsympathetic where I understand that, hey, sometimes, man, you get that bug, you got to pay that rent. I can't miss work. And so people go to work sick. Some people are just inconsiderate, and they do it. But some people are just like, look, man, I got bills, man. I can't afford to stay home. I got to come to work. I get it.
People I work with, that's their excuse.
Yeah, I understand, but it's unfortunate that we've allowed it to get to this where because when people talk about when they pay rent, it's like, no, what you're doing is you haven't come to work because you got to pay 3 months of your check to the government. Ooh, and you might get a little bit of that back. It's weird that you got these people who think they don't pay taxes.
Yeah.
The poor don't pay taxes. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Everybody pays. Some people may have the luxury of being able to have tax shelters and stuff like that, but everybody pays. There's or somebody's going to be made to make up for the cost for somebody else being taxed. You're going to pay. Mm-hmm. All right. So, but as it is, with these, with RFK, people having the nerve to be mad about this sort of stuff. It's like, damn, man, you got these people out there who want this, universal or socialized, healthcare. They want America to be under this federal HMO and stuff like that. It's like, you guys want this, but you don't want it to work efficiently. You guys want this, and the weird thing about it is one of the biggest prejudices that the liberals have is against the pharmaceutical industry.
Yeah, it used to be.
Remember that? Now all of a sudden, and y'all, it's pharmakia, man. I'm telling you, it's sorcery. They treat them like they're gods.
Absolutely.
And they act like we're gonna cut down all the rainforest. It's like, man, they're not gonna cut down the rainforest. They go to the rainforest, man, because that's where they get their stuff.
Right.
They need those. All right, they're not gonna cut that stuff down. And and it's funny, man, because when you talk about the forest and the rainforest and things like that, this thing that the pharmaceutical industry goes to get their potions, to be able to work their spells on people, keep them bound to this sort of stuff. Don't you think it's kind of funny that one of the names of Satan in the Bible is Belair or Belal, and the name means Lord of the Forest? Yeah. People don't understand how satanic this is. So when you got somebody who's trying to shine a light on this satanic aspect of it, these people go crazy. They act like vampires, which is like they practically are. A bunch of parasites.
Yes.
Who are afraid that the sun is going to cook the earth and don't like crosses and stuff like that. That's what these people are. And bloodsuckers.
They hate crosses and they're afraid of the sun.
Yeah, a bunch of bloodsuckers, man. And so here we are wanting to make the healthcare industry more efficient, make this stuff more affordable. Y'all, it would be more affordable if you would allow us to get the garbage out of it. You're paying for garbage, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's see. And what was this? Measles.
Yeah, measles is taking off in our backyard.
I got measles. Remember that cartoon? So, I remember measles was, I think before we even left California, measles was making a comeback.
Yes, it was.
And we were in the last place we were staying out before coming out to Texas. We were in the Coachella Valley, and there's a lot of people from south of the border living there, and people coming in.
Yep.
People from south of the border, and bringing in measles.
Yep.
Bringing in measles, and so I guess that is when you have these southwestern territories, and we're in more of like we're kind of like the the west side of. We're coming out of central Texas on the west side, right? And I guess measles is making their way through here, and unfortunately, that's not tourism, y'all. That's illegal entry.
Yeah, liberals were trying to say, "Oh, it's just tourists." It's like, no, it's not, because tuberculosis was a returning problem for Southern California, a border state, for lots of years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
tourists.
It's funny because, we were remembering while we were in California, how they make a big deal. You got to make sure kids got to have all their shots.
Yep.
Have all these shots before they enter in the school system, right? But not the ones that couldn't speak any English.
Yep.
And they didn't have to worry about it, So just once again, y'all, that's strategy. It's all about undermining. Liberals don't care. They think the world is overpopulated anyway. You think they really care if anybody dies from measles?
True.
They want to act like, it's this big scare and people should be scared about these things, and they're selective about what people should be scared about anyway. But at the end of the day, they think the world is overpopulated. They don't care how people die. They just want people to die. They don't care about wars. They don't care about diseases. They don't care about any of that stuff. They think the world is overpopulated, and they want people to die. Well, except themselves.
True.
So, how about this one? A porno just won Best Picture. Yeah, we're getting some good stuff, man. Let's get some juicy stuff.
Can we just say real quick, RFK was he's helping here in Texas. He's saying, get your measles MMR, the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccines. He's saying it's not mandatory. It shouldn't be mandatory, but it's a great idea to get your kids that vaccine.
Yeah,
He's helping Texas get it.
If you're gonna have your kids in the public school system, hey, this is the price that that's the cost of it. If you're,
especially we're being flooded with illegal people who are carrying this, so it's a good idea for us to have the vaccine here.
Yeah, it's you can either do that or you could just be really careful. You can do that. I like how the Word of God puts it. Hygiene is a pretty good idea.
Yes.
It works. It works pretty darn good. Be mindful about you keep your hands clean. be mindful about touching your face and stuff like that. Not just because of what you'll deposit on you, but what you deposit on other stuff. You touch your face and you go put, opening doors and things like that. It's just a point of just respect. That's if you got that sense, like the word says, love the Lord your God and love your neighbor. Out of love for my neighbor, man, I don't want to be like, digging in my nose and then just, opening up, the freezer doors at the supermarket and stuff like that. And whichever, ooh, I like this cereal and I got my germs on it and stuff like that. I try to keep from touching my face and stuff like that. And as soon as I walk into the supermarket, I hit the hand sanitizer and whichever. And just be mindful of whatnot. I see people like hacking and coughing down a certain aisle, I'll go down a different one. It's just kind of looking out for that stuff. And so far, praise be to God, that's worked out pretty fine. Rather than getting dosed with whatever this industry is saying that we need to be dosed with, that's causing problems. All that to say. Do I think that, it's a dumb idea? Heck no, man, I'm not going to do that. I don't think anybody should do that. No, I'm not saying that. But making people do it, like making it like this mandatory thing where people they don't have a say, I don't think you should do that. Yeah.
Back during the beginning of Obama's administration, when it really became like this thing and you could get free flu shots and everybody needed to get their flu shot and they would advertise for it and the doctors would hound you for it. It was new. I had always gotten a flu shot because I was always sickly. And you had always said, well, maybe this year you might want to try not to because it always makes you sick. And I'd be like, oh, well, I have to get one.
That was the thing about it. It was like, I would see those, those shots and be like, you look so good.
Right? Well, the thing that really made me, because you had kept saying you might want to stop doing this, so I started to look into it, and I learned from my mom, who's a vet, that you ask about the adjuvants and the preservatives in the human shots, the vaccines, and there's mercury, there's all kinds of garbage in there that's really bad to have injected into you. However, dogs and cats, you can get their vaccines, you can request to pay a little bit more and not have the thimerosal and the mercury and all of the bad stuff in there. I was like, wait, my dog can get a higher quality vaccine, but I can't? I was like, there's something wrong here. Honey, you're right. And I stopped getting them.
Then again, vet bills are pretty expensive too. That's probably why they're able to get the good stuff.
Yeah.
That stuff ain't cheap. Not saying that you guys aren't, that vets aren't, worth, the job that they're doing, just expensive. So, a porno. Let's see. Dennis Prager's favorite stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, in classic, and of course, I thought that, but that's already, how long has that been already? That's been like 2 years. What was that, Poor Things?
Oh, yeah.
That's been a while ago. Poor Things is, I guess they kind of set the stage, we can get, but that's art. That's the real artsy, award-winning stuff. So what is this movie? Anya? Anora. Sorry, Anya. Anora, a film about a sex worker who marries a Russian oligarch. Okay, so this is Hollywood standard. They love the objectification of women while talking all that Me Too stuff and. But this is what they celebrate. Mm-hmm. And so this doesn't surprise me at all. And when people talk about, women talking about how they're objectified and, and how there's all this anti-womanism and stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, you're right. And you work for their industry.
Yeah.
Don't be blaming the rest of us. That's the industry that you're in. They be doing that. And so this movie, and I noticed that I saw the lead actress. At first, I thought it was what's her name, Saint Clair. What is her name?
Oh, Ashley St. Clair.
Yeah, I thought it was the girl that Elon Musk supposedly knocked up. Another darling of right-wing media.
Correct. Yes.
Ashley St. Clair. I thought it was her. I guess it's not her. But at any rate, so this is what Hollywood is into. And so this girl is going to say that she stands with the the sex worker. Man, Democrats just can't get enough of slavery, can they?
Right? That's a good point.
That's what they're all about, y'all. And so when she says that, that she stands with the sex workers, what I'm trying to get down to like where what she actually said. Come on, where's her dang quote?
Honora, Maggie Madison accepts the award for Best Actress for her role in Honora, taking a moment to, quote, recognize and honor the sex worker community. I will continue to support and be an ally.
Okay. So what is your allegiance to it then? Are you going to be an ally to try to help get them out of an industry that they're trapped in? In what way are you going to be an ally to these people? I don't think your being allied to them has anything to do with liberating them. Well, I mean, as far as you're concerned, selling your body for sex is liberating as it is. Hey, it's women's lib.
Yes.
Get out there and be free with your sex. These people aren't necessarily free. But you're the same kind of mindset that Democrats had in the 1800s. They thought that them slaves, listen to them out there singing their Negro spirituals. They're happy. They love where they are. Do you love Master? Tell Master that you love Master. Oh, he just loves you, Master. Oh, Jesus, go in. Listen to them sing. They love where they are, right? She the same way. The Democrat mindset hasn't changed. So she out there celebrating sex trafficking, the sex industry, the sexual workers, and then perverts that are out there in the audience when she's talking about how she stands with them. They're like, woo, that's right, girl.
Yep.
Bunch of perverts out there, man. They're letting you know, hey, man, they're into it. They're all about that sex trafficking. They're all about it, right? So.
Yep, cheering it on.
Yeah, and so. She's being used. She's getting paid, she's being used to promote this sort of stuff. So, hey, but good news, I guess. Hey, Andrew Tate's on his way back, so maybe you guys can like hook up and make a movie.
Yeah. There you go.
Maybe you guys can. You might be able to do a documentary. Not even a documentary. You can go ahead and stream it live on any of the platforms. Just Andrew Tate doing what he does.
Yep.
And you could be in it, whatever.
So this movie, nobody's heard of it, nobody saw it, but it won Best Picture because it is a porno, and it is a porno. We're not just being hyperbolic. It only grossed $41 million at the box office. Polling of what your favorite movie was of the American people, legit polls. They all said that the biopic was Reagan. Reagan wasn't even in the running to be nominated. That's how bad they squashed Reagan out. So they didn't even put Reagan in there, but it was the American people's favorite biopic, however you say that. And Deadpool and Wolverine grossed, what was it? It was actually America's favorite movie of the year. And it grossed $1.3 billion. This movie that nobody's ever heard of and hardly anybody saw only grossed $41 million. So I don't understand these artsy fartsy people.
Oh, I do.
I guess they're just perverts, right? And
perverts.
Sketchy put in Me Too, that whole movement of hypocrites.
And this girl, she got Best Actress.
Yes, she did. So this porno took home awards all night long.
Yeah. So, but y'all, that's part of their religion. This costs them money. It costs money. It costs them their reputation.
Yeah.
Their industry is being handed over to AI. AI is getting to where they're able to like just get these features, man, and all that sort of stuff. It's pretty darn sophisticated. So it's like I don't know, some sort of weird suicidal. What's that kind of thing when you know that it's like, you know, there's no escape or something like that, and you just do something desperate and just and just totally irrational, you know, in this croak as it's croaking, you know, whichever.
Right.
That's kind of like what Hollywood is, you know, and it's I guess just letting their true colors come out, true perverted colors, whatever. They got me saying whatever a lot tonight, and I don't like it.
Steve put something interesting in the chat when we were talking about, you know, what do you do about not getting these flus and colds and all that stuff? He said, well, soap and water is 100% effective. You'd be shocked at how many people don't wash their hands.
For real.
Really shocked.
Man,
I've seen nurses not wash their hands.
Yeah, sometimes I almost get to cussing, man. It's like I said, I'll be in the bathroom washing my hands, and somebody will just leave the toilet or leave the unibrow, and I'm like, you nasty. It just comes out. I'm like, you nasty. And just walk out and don't want to wash your hands and nothing. And it's irritating.
Yeah.
You know, and I have to check myself because I don't want to be Pharisaic like that. I don't want to make it like, oh, I'm so virtuous. I mean, I don't want to be like the Pharisaic attitude that has been carried on by these liberals who, you need to make sure you're washing your hands 20 minutes and all that sort of stuff and wear a mask and all that. And they be judging people because of that. But y'all, I'm not coming from the standpoint of being caught up with this fad concerning a, you know, because, you know, when these were the people who were making, like, we're a bunch of superstitious, you know, religious boobs because, you know, we believe the Bible. It's like, dude, the Bible, all the stuff that you guys are telling us that we need to do, the Bible already told us to do that. We've been doing it. All right, those of us who follow God, man, yeah, that's right. We wash our hands and we try to be mindful and respectful of the people that we have to interact with, man, and we don't be trying to spread stuff around. We already on that tip. Y'all trying to be religious about it now. We don't do it because we're religious. We do it because we actually care about people. We love the Lord our God with all our heart, mind, and strength. Love the neighbor as we would ourselves. Yeah, we're going to wash our hands out of respect. Y'all are doing it because y'all are on some sort of religious virtue trip.
Absolutely.
And judging people. But y'all, even myself, man, despite that love, I'd be like, you nasty. It's like you just gonna walk out here, ain't gonna wash your hands. Anyway, sorry.
Oh yeah, I will give dirty looks at work to customers, risking getting in trouble when I see that you have been in that stall for 10 minutes and you're coming out without washing your hands.
It's like, I didn't hear you wash your hands. I didn't hear that water faucet go.
Especially if nurses do it. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
I heard that toilet flush. I ain't hear any water after that.
This is interesting, and I never thought about this, and I'm sure we've discussed it because of your in-depth studies, but Steve says, in Yeshua's day, no hand sanitizer, soap, and water. And I've read lots of articles that the hand sanitizer we're using, and he says alcohol is poison to the body. That's very true, and the hand sanitizers actually kill all of the healthy microbes that we're supposed to have, which leaves us with a worse immune system than we would have if we weren't hand sanitizing.
Yeah, and in terms of like, you know, getting that bacteria back on your hands, you know, it's like you can hand a sanitizer, just there, the bacteria's back on your hands.
Right?
So you get that good bacteria. but yeah.
That's a good point. I'm gonna start doing that.
Yeah, that's what we do. You know, the hand washing, you know, when they make sure you got to wash it up to the elbow. You know, it wasn't just the ceremonial washing, you know, if you will. You wash it, you know, get it all up in there, you know. And, you know, but that's, you know, you should have gone through the lessons like, man, you guys he was dealing with that stuff back in. Y'all are being all legalistic about this and making like, you're being religious about it. And you make like, that's like making you a good person because you wash your hands. And y'all just as dirty on the inside. It's like, y'all don't wash your hands. Like, look, man, because that's not what makes us a good person. You know? Of course, I want, you know, me and my homies want to be clean and stuff like that, but we got to make a point to you. You know? Y'all wash your hands, but you just dirty as anybody else. So, let's see. What else we got here?
Sketchy made a really good point. He said, lots of sunlight back then. Yeah, and you were allowed to be in it and not had to worry about what the liberals have told you for 35 years, that sunlight is dangerous and to never go in it.
Right? Yes, great point.
UV rays kill all the bad stuff. They're good at it.
There it is. Let's see what else we got. And once again, thank you guys for tuning in on the Instagrams and tuning in on bronzeserpentmedia.com, tuning in on the YouTubes. Let's see what else we got here as we wrap up these articles. Best actress. Oh, okay, no, that was it.
Yep.
All right, we got through them all. You guys are the grooviest for putting up with my trying to make sense of this sort of stuff, man. This is our sane space. That's what we do in the global, sane space from the global rubber room. Boing, boing.
We do have 2 song requests,
Oh.
but I'm going to leave them for Wednesday. Because I know you're trying to sign off.
Well, you said there's 2. Can I get 1?
1, Mr. Odors, which that's just a great name. You need to do a new song.
Oh, okay.
You need to do a new song, Spanking Zelensky, something along Alice in Chain Wood theme.
Okay. Because when you said Mr. Odors, I thought that was the name of a song. I was like, Mr. Odors, okay. That's who's doing it. Okay, so a parody set to the tune of Wood by Alice in Chains.
I was hoping you would know what that reference is. I
Well,
did not.
no, and what's Spanking Lewinsky?
Yes.
Was it Lewinsky or
Zelensky.
Zelensky? Getting my skis screwed up here,
Yeah.
man. Okay. Spanking Zelensky, set to the tune of Wood by Alice in Chains.
Sounds interesting.
That would be challenging, especially because the kind of audio motif of Wood is. I mean, yeah, I guess you could make any song a parody, but it's not like Wood is kind of somber. It's a rather somber song, and Spanking. That seems like something more to be put to the tune of a Limp Bizkit song or something like that. Spanking is what was that? Maybe like some Break Something by Limp Bizkit, or what's that other one that they talk about? Not Nookie.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like Bizkit's got some angry songs. Their songs are dealing with anger issues. So maybe set to something like that. I don't know. Okay, so now I really want to know what the other song is.
I was gonna say I'm giving it to you because
Okay.
we spent time on Mr. Odors.
Mm-hmm.
The 1700s says, "In a Lonely Place" by Bush, Crow soundtrack might be a good cover to do.
Bush? Thought you were my friend.
Oh no.
Bush.
But if it's in the Crow soundtrack, it must be good.
Now, I don't remember Bush from the Crow soundtrack.
A Lonely Place. Since I saved these, we'll pull it up after the show so you can hear it.
Was it the first Crow or the second one? Both with Brandon Lee.
Hopefully he's still.
Man, I think one of the things I remember from The Crow is when they had, Brandon Lee, like playing guitar. And, they should have been able to get, they already did body doubles for Brandon to fill in some of them scenes. They could have got a better, body double for him playing guitar.
First Crow.
First one, okay. They could have, because they had him playing guitar, and he's like you could tell whoever was playing guitar, and I reckon it was Brandon. It's like he could do anything. Just go ahead and film it. And he's playing guitar, and he's just fingers moving all, and he's just like, dude, are you even hitting the strings, man? It's like he's trying to play this lead guitar stuff, and it was very distracting, man. It really took away from the potency of the moment of him having this release as he's playing, he's playing guitar, and just kind of all these emotions that are coming out. And you couldn't take it seriously because he looked like Corey Feldman, just doing whatever on the guitar. It's like, man, if you guys were going to do a cutaway to a close-up of him, you should have had somebody who looked like they knew what they was doing on that thing.
That's funny.
Anyway, thank you guys so much. bronzeserpentmedia.com. Hope you guys come there and become a member if you haven't already. It's free. Won't cost you a dime, just a couple strokes of your time, clicks of your time. Just probably your email. I think that's about it. Come and populate the powwows, y'all. Update. You guys are probably, please allow me to share this with you. You probably already saw me. I'm having my Zelensky moment where I'm going to ask you for a dime, give me more money. Anyway, no, I'm kidding. at Patreon, you guys probably heard or got my notification. I hope you did, but if you didn't, Apple is forcing Patreon to basically turn to a subscription model. And long story short, Apple's going to take like 30%, okay, whether it's going to come out of you contributing or it's going to come out of me receiving. Which if you do it, if you contribute something like, say, for instance, you contribute $10, they're going to take 30% of that. Or they can make me pay for it, which means that to recover my costs, the subscription would have to be $11. So no matter what, somebody's going to get, we're going to get screwed out of 30%, all right? For no good reason, really. The way to get around that, y'all, is to not subscribe using the Apple Store app. Don't use your phone. Do it by way of a desktop. If you go to my page and you go to like a membership, if you're already a supporter on Patreon, you can leave it the way that it is. But like I said, Apple's, the way they're doing it. If you're contributing through the Apple Store app, it's going to charge 30%. What I'm recommending is cancel it, but please come back. Cancel it, yes. And then renew your subscription, because they're going to change it over to subscription model anyway. It's not going to be per vids, at least not for the rest of 2025. They automatically changed people over anyway. But then they say that you can do it in 2025 when they did it in November of 2024. And you can't really get a clear answer as to what it is, why. And I don't want to discourage, I'm hating to say this because I don't want to discourage people from contributing on Patreon and start pulling away. Really I prefer people contributing on Cornerstone anyway, because it's a Christian owned and operated, payment system. But, Patreon, we still want to be able to represent in the culture, and Patreon has a lot of opportunities to be able to do that. So we're there. But if you cancel and then you resubscribe using your desktop or using whatever else except for your iPhone or the App Store, the Apple App Store, to get away from that 30% charge. And, so I'm putting that out there, and hopefully y'all will. I set the tiers since it's going to be subscription. It's got from $1, to $1 a month. If you want to subscribe for $1 a month, you can do for $1 a month. Some people, used to pay $20 per vid. So there's even a category for like $300 a month. Why? It's like, so hey man, you think kind of fool of yourself to have a subscription model for $300 a month. Well, some people, not a lot of people, but I'm thankful for those who did. Some did pay $20 per video, right? If I put up a video, they paid $20 per video. And if I did like X amount of video, that added up to like $300, that they pay $300 a month, I just set a tier for that, because that is now going to be the subscription model, because they're not going to do per videos anymore. They're only doing subscription. So if a person was already paying, $20 a video, and I made like X amount of videos that equal 300, I made a category for that, for those who want to stay in that category. I even have a donor who pays that. If I make like $50 a video, that's $20 a video, and I do like 50 videos a month. That's I have a category for that, even up to like 1,000. So if somebody wants to donate for that much, because that's what they were paying anyway. Yeah. At X amount of videos per month, paying X amount of videos per month, and that's what it is. So I have a category for that, because it has to be subscription now. So I don't want anybody to think that, hey, I'm so full of myself that I would make a subscription model that does it. Some people, they may not do it for like a long period of time. They may just do it for a month to say, hey man, I want to support you for about a month. I'm going to support this month for how many videos, Some have been supporting for years, even at $5 a month or $5 a video. I do X amount of videos. They pay for all those videos, $5 a month. So it turns out, to be a pretty generous show of support. So I have now tiers that are selected for that, or made for that, if you guys want to go in and you want to fall into any of those tiers.
Sketchy is asking, I'm not on an Apple device. Does that matter?
Yeah, no. Yes or no, but it's not going to change it. You won't be charged this 30%. And you're already in there, so you're good to go.
And you're talking about Patreon.
Yes.
right? And how do you go there and find you?
So if you go to Patreon, if you put in Alfonso Rachel, you just got to know the name, because it's not like you can go and discover me by accident on Patreon. That's shadow banning has killed that for me. But if you know the name Alfonso Rachel, you'll find it, and just remember, if you go to my page, it'll have those tiers there for you, right? Or you see a tab that says members,
Yeah.
okay, or membership. Hit that, you'll see the tiers. And then select the one that you feel most comfortable with.
Okay. And somebody said to me today that they couldn't figure out how to contribute through Cornerstone. And it's been a long time since I've gone through the steps. Can you say the steps real quick in case she's listening?
Yeah, if you're at my donation page and you see the tab that says Cornerstone, just hit that. It'll take you to the corner, and it'll give you a selection of what like 5 to 500.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right? You can select any one of those, and there's an option for you to put in another amount if you want. Say other. You can put in whatever amount you want, and then it'll have a selection for how often you want to. This could be a one-time thing, or you could do it as recurring. Once a month, quarterly, yearly, right? What you want to support with. And that's it. Just give your information, just like you would do anything else. It's pretty much the same as anything else that you want to make a purchase, as far as an online purchase goes.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Thank you guys so very much. Hope to see y'all tomorrow if you guys are up for it. Hope to see our Zopium denizens. And if you haven't, if you're new to the Zoloft and you haven't come to the Zopium Den, hope you guys are up for giving us a shot, man. Come and check it out. It's the most deep, lively, and fun Bible study you're gonna find online. If I do say so myself. The Lord is the real life of the party of it. It's all Him.
That's right.
He's what makes it live, baby. And that's what we do. We study who He is for who He says He is up in there. So hopefully we'll see you there.
7 p.m. Central.
7 p.m. Central on Tuesday. Just hit the Zopium Den page when you come to the website, bronzeserpentmedia.com. All right, y'all. Night, night. Bye.